Good day, South Africans. Welcome to Advocate Mekwa Speaks, social media platforms. Well, we are, I think, on video 3 that deals with the situation between Ukraine and Russia. Now, at this point in time, I'd like to just compare two scenarios actually and allow you to be the judge as to who actually has the moral high ground, in particular between America on the one hand and Russia on the other. One thing that is clear, a bully is a bully. And one thing is clear, you cannot in any country go and bomb people into oblivion because you have your own insecurities, especially insecurities that are not substantiated by anything much. But then again, that is the problem with the international system. Whoever has the power can crack the whip. Whoever has the power can crack the whip, and the world can do nothing but look. And it is worse when that one that's cracking the whip is one, a nuclear power. And secondly, not just a nuclear power, but a nuclear power having veto power. I hope South Africans, you are listening to me at the moment. So we have a situation currently where Russia believes that Ukraine, by potentially getting access to NATO, might be a security risk. And I'll argue in another video later as to the security implications and whether Russia has a leg to stand on from a national interest perspective, not necessarily from international law perspective, because those are two different questions and or issues. Now, in the current scenario, Russia believes that Ukraine, if it joins the NATO forces or alliance, it will suddenly be threatened, or its security will be threatened, and then is doing whatever it's doing to potentially ensure that Ukraine is a neutral state, but secondly, to ensure that the Ukraine is demilitarized. In other words, it wants to see Ukraine without a meaningful military that can be able to do anything within the theater of operations. Right now, that is actually the essence. But now I want you to take a moment and go back with me in history to the year in the 1960s, particularly 1962, where at that time Cuba, exercising its independence, its sovereignty, was allowing the Soviet Union, the number one enemy of America, to have missiles within its territory. And lo and behold, we had the USA obviously try to surround the whole of Cuba, and through negotiations got Cuba to destroy all those missiles, and so forth and so forth. So one thing is clear, there are two similar scenarios where either or believes that its security is threatened, and America behaved in a similar fashion. Not that the destruction is of a similar nature, but essentially was fighting Cuba in a sense that it cannot allow Cuba to allow the Soviet Union, its enemy, to have strategic reach. Now we have Russia doing the same, fighting the Ukraine to ensure that Ukraine does not allow NATO forces to have strategic reach. And the guys on either side of the issue was the security question. Now, what is the difference? What is the difference? Either side of the coin, same reaction, same justifications, more or less, because at the heart of it, do not worry about the slogans and the comments. At the heart of it is the national security that is potentially threatened by the presence of either the NATO forces within the Ukraine as the Soviet Union's presence of missiles in Cuba. So what Russia is doing, South Africans, is not a new thing. So, one thing Allah said is that history is indeed the best teacher. You decide whether Russia is wrong and whether you believe America has the moral high ground to speak. Thank you very much, South Africa.